could be an issue when the Vikings play on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, they make the trade for another safety, a really talented guy in Gilman, which allows Kyle Hamilton to then play pretty much predominantly the nickel spot. I arguably think they have maybe the best combination of corners in the NFL, and then when you throw Hamilton in there as the nickel, I mean, it's an incredible challenge, and we feel great about our skill guys, but we've got to show up ready for a really, really tough task and test on Sunday.
Okay, so it's like somebody here shares a brain with Kevin O'Connell. Let's start on the Ravens defense. Dan, why will they pose such a challenge for J.J. McCarthy this week?
Kyle getting closer to the football with the Gilman addition really has made offenses playing against the Ravens defense very one-dimensional. It's hard to undersell or oversell how impactful this dude's been. First of all, Miami would line up with 6 offensive linemen. This is a safety walking down and meeting this guard in the hole, and his job is to redirect this outside zone. You tell me that he doesn't do it. I mean, that's unbelievable that he is meeting a guard in the B gap, and that's allowing that backside run defense. Now he's kind of a little bit outside the play, the smarts that he has. He shoots the gap inside. No chance that tight end can get him. And all of a sudden, that back gets hit at the line of scrimmage low with Kyle Hamilton. Now he's at the line of scrimmage. We've seen him inside. We've seen him outside. Now he's at the line of scrimmage. Tight end, absolutely no shot. And then there's that retrace to get in on the pile. Once again, at the line of scrimmage. Now he's weak side, off that backside tight end. Sets the line of scrimmage, scrapes him on the line of scrimmage. Vision, smart enough to realize here comes counter, gets underneath the block, and there's another TFL. The reality is that this defense stunk in the run game before this happened. Stunk. Just look at the numbers right now, where he's lining up all over the place. But his ability to be down near the football and create negative runs has totally transformed this defense. I would say it's totally transformed the realistic element of, can they get to the Super Bowl or not?
Yeah, and by the way, since week 6, they're allowing 13 points per game. Prior to that, 35.3.
And it's the only change now.
Yeah,
it's
that's
the
pretty
only
much
change.
all it is. Big test for Minnesota on Sunday. I think that 2 things can be true at once. Really impressed with the boys, really impressed with some of the guttiness you've seen from J.J. McCarthy. Love the way that he kind of galvanizes that locker room. They got to be way more explosive on offense. Really, the defense was, to me, the more impressive side of the ball this past Sunday against the Detroit Lions. J.J. McCarthy has yet to reach 160 passing yards in a game this season. He's averaging under 7 yards per attempt. This is the NFL in 2025. That's not how you win consistently, especially in a conference that has as many. I know this is an AFC game, but in that division, that conference, you can't just win games by grinding them out 24-21 frequently. So I want to see, can they open this thing up? Like Justin Jefferson got a touchdown this past Sunday, but that was his second one all season, Hawk. Like this is Justin capital J Jefferson, and he has become not the player that we are so accustomed to seeing him be.
If I'm JJ, I'm leaning on him, and he has to keep chipping away at his own development. He threw some incredible passes that game. There was a drop in the bucket to Addison that ended up being a literal drop. There was the touchdown to Justin Jefferson, which was on the money. But then there were times where he kind of lost his mechanics. He lost his footing when trying to get out of the pocket. Just continue to chip away at it. It's not going to happen overnight, but be okay with the downside that could come with you just playing the football that you know how to play. There were times he was aiming the football. He missed some throws that he should have been on target with. But I saw enough from him in that game that said they have something here. Both the Vikings and himself have to trust that development and keep chipping away at it week after week.
I'd also say, I think the lack of explosiveness in the offensive line's been so poor. So it's hard to really build explosive pass plays. That unit's struggling. They were better this past week. Now, this might be the first week all season that Naylor, Addison, JJ, and JJ have played a game coming off of a little bit of experience. So I think just the rhythm and the repetition of everybody should, but I agree, they got to build some into it.
Aaron Jones did not practice today, so that's something.
He just came back.
I know. Well, maybe it's just because it's Wednesday. We'll see tomorrow if he ends up playing. Okay, time for one more thing before we go. Courtney Cronin did the reporting on this, and it's just great stuff. Courtney joins us now. We're so glad to have you here, Courtney. All right, let's do this, okay? 20 starting quarterbacks in the NFL wear a wristband play sheet. What were the reasons you discovered in your reporting about the benefits it provides?
Yeah, Laura, I heard you go to break there and you listed out about 25 different numbers and letters and words, and you must be part of a West Coast system because that can get very complicated and very complex, and I don't think that anybody was able to demonstrate this better than what we heard from Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals coach. He picked a random play call, gave it out, said it took about 3 seconds. He said, I could save about 4 seconds if I just said wristband 10. And it allows his quarterback to effectively cut out the middleman in delivering that play call into the huddle. And his quarterback now is Joe Flacco. Flacco has seen a lot of football over about 2 decades of playing in this league, but it helps truncate verbiage that changes from a year-to-year basis on many offenses throughout the NFL and helps him get to the line of scrimmage faster so he could diagnose things and be able to change the play if he has to. And I think that there's something that's really interesting about how it varies from offense to offense. Not every quarterback in every system that relies on wristbands wears one. You go out to the Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford doesn't wear one, but Jimmy Garoppolo does. It's something that he's worn throughout his career. He says that if you miss one word in that play call, that could change the entire thing, and it saved him a lot of times. Instead of trying to memorize 25 words and hear it all, he can hear somebody say left hash 52, and he can get right to the line of scrimmage and diagnose what he's about to do. Now, and there's also this misconception out there that Josh Dobbs, Patriots backup quarterback, talked about. He said, just because you wear a wristband doesn't mean that you don't understand or can't process an offense. It just helps truncate things and make it simpler when you get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, what did you learn about certain teams and their concerns about using the wristbands full time? Because the way you're illustrating it, it seems like maybe it'd be a really good thing to do.
Yeah, I think the San Francisco 49ers have a great approach for this. So during the offseason, they do not let their quarterbacks use a wristband during OTAs, minicamp, any of those practices, because they want them to learn the verbiage. They want them to learn the wordy play calls that Kyle Shanahan's going to be barking out on game days, where during the year they're able to wear the wristband, but it helps them visualize the play. You want to be able to hear 3 to 4 words to be like, okay, got it. I know exactly what I'm about to call and what I'm about to run, so then you can relay it to the rest of the offense. That's something that Sam Darnold, Seahawks quarterback, said he struggled with early on in his career. Obviously, he played in a lot of different offenses and said sometimes early on he didn't study the playbook as much. He relied on the wristband. So when you're looking down at it and you're like, what exactly does this mean? Okay, now I've got it. That comes with more repetition. That comes with more studying. But really wearing the wristband kind of forced him to learn the playbook even more so he could be more proficient when he saw something, and then that recognition would come right to top of mind when he heard it in his headset and was able to relay it to the rest of the huddle.
Yeah, Courtney, as you know well, covering the Bears, Ben Johnson didn't want Caleb Williams using a wristband much because he did want him to visualize that play call as he's giving it and really look at his offense while he's delivering that. Thanks so much to Courtney Cronin. Just fascinating information. And Dan, I'm really excited to hear from you guys on this. Okay, obviously we got a quarterback and a receiver here, so you guys know this stuff so well. Dan, before we get to the pros and cons of using the wristband, right, walk us through just how quickly the 40-second play clock moves between plays.
Yeah, so for everybody at home to understand, once that ball carrier of the previous play hits the ground, the 40-second play clock starts right now. And then the coach to the quarterback would say something like, hey, we're in jacket 11, H to gun, taser left open, sick, 53, all go seam, H jerk, kill it with, flash 42, OP edge. So I got to get into the huddle and say, guys, 2 things here. Listen up, jacket 11 flips the X and the F receiver. I got 2 plays. Hey, H to gun, taser left, 8, you're starting outside, H, open, sick, 53, all go seam, H jerk, take your time on the route. And listen, we're going to kill it with flash 42, OP edge, on 2, ready, break.
And you've got 10 seconds.
To get to the line of scrimmage, look at the defense, gather information, and then potentially change it. Kill, kill, kill. So that's why the wordiness of some of these plays becomes too much. It just becomes too much, and it's overwhelming. And that's why a team could go, hey, let's go wristband 43 this week.
And I think to your point in the reporting, the misconception is, oh, you have the wristband because you can't remember the plays, you can't get it from the headset to the huddle. And that's not the case. Even for the quarterbacks who know this playbook in and out, you come into this game with 150 different plays that we've been reading around the clock, even as a wide receiver. And when you come in and you say play 52, it eliminates, again, having to get that from the OC twice. coming in because what I need is a wideout. I need to hear what's relevant to me, which is formation. I get the formation. I get the alignment of where I align.
Right.
I get the concept, which tells me what my routes are and how I run them. And then I get, whether the options are and the snap count.
I think to Courtney's point, when she mentioned 3 or 4 words can completely change the play, that's the big part for receivers as well, because as an offense, you're often going, okay, we just played Sunday. We just memorized our game plan for Sunday. And then 6 days later, we're playing again, and we could take that gun, taser left open, and it could be gun, taffy left open. And so all of a sudden, that one word completely changes the formation. And it could go 53, all go state, H sit instead of H jerk, and now it's a completely different play, but only 2 or 3 words are different.
So as a quarterback, did you like having a wristband? Did you not like it?
I didn't like having a wristband because there was one, I wanted to memorize everything because that bred confidence for me that there was no problem we would face. I also liked getting into the huddle, and when I heard jacket 11 going to Calvin Johnson, be like, hey, it's jacket 11, you're playing the F, not the X, and make sure that you get your depth at 15 yards and whatnot. So like the information that I tried to coach in the huddle, and I think a lot of starters do, is an ideal rather than me having to look down because I always wanted to make eye contact.
And that's the part that I do think matters, right? Even for a wide receiver, I want my quarterback to, yes, it's play 52 on the wristband, but he can read 2 words and almost recite exactly what the play is because he's lived in the game.
And it's also like this, like if it's 3rd and 8, I want to be able to look at him and be like, make sure you get 10 yards here,
so
rather than
I want you telling me, hey, it's jacket X this, and then you're going to motion down here. Like almost,
I'm telling you what to do with your
nonverbals. Because also I know what you want.
Well, it's interesting because even on Monday night, I was talking to Jacoby Brissett before the game. Obviously, he's got familiarity with that Cardinals offense, had some time with those guys back when they were in Cleveland, but he said he's still trying to learn it on the fly, and some of the skill guys are helping him out, but he said they only know the plays where they're getting the ball.
And here's the misconception that a lot of fans, like, you hear that, and it's very hard, but it's not all memorization. It's not just plays that have random names. This is a system. So as he goes through that, the system is working in my head because basically it's eliminating choices. And the more time I have at the line, I'm continuing to eliminate ways to run routes and what the play is based on coverage, alignment, matchup, leverage, you name it.
Dan, a lot of young quarterbacks in the league right now who are still figuring things out. Would you prefer them from a coaching standpoint to have a wristband or to just not even ever rely on it at all?
I liked Courtney's report of what they do in San Francisco and certainly Chicago of you're not allowed to use it as the crutch when we can make mistakes. Now, if we get into the game, the most important thing is the operation and execution, giving us the best chance to win. So if we have to use that early on, I'm okay with that. There's also different offenses. Some offenses don't need a ton of time at the line of scrimmage. Some offenses, a Shanahan offense, sometimes doesn't want overthinking from the quarterback. Get to the line of scrimmage and go play. Buffalo wants to get to the line of scrimmage, see what you're doing, and communicate with a ton of information.
It cannot be for reminding you. It's solely for a time-saving mechanism.
Expediting our
You got to know it, though. And
That's
when it comes out, it's second nature anyway. And I don't know, sometimes it feels like the way it's delivered.
You got to do it 65 times in a row.
That was amazing. I mean, just what you did to us, you only had 10 seconds left. If any adjustments needed to happen.
You have people trying to rip your face off.
Hey, well, you know what? I couldn't do it in time, and I had nobody trying to rip my face off.
Anh nghe là phần túi của mình bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục đan cao lên.